Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Damontae bringing you a banger. Don't forget to go follow on my Twitch, please. Here you will never miss out on daily Payday content.
The Grinder Dodge build and the perk deck abilities look like this. Your first card in the deck being Histamine. Damaging comps regens HP every 0.3 seconds. And your healing ability only triggers on Suit or the Light Ballistic Vest. Also, this will be for a time of 3 seconds, the healing. Adrenaline. It gives more HP per damage by 1 HP form, and you're gaining a 20% HP increase to the build as a whole. Endorphins, which gives another 1 HP increase to the damage, and it's also giving you a 10% chance to pierce the enemy armor. Dopamine gives another 1 damage increase to the per damage, and it will also give you another 20% HP increase, which now totals you to 40% HP increase, changing you to 322 HP. Euphoria, which will change the time that you're getting healed for, and as I mentioned earlier, it starts out as 3 seconds, and now it's changed to 4.2 seconds. Also, getting another 20% chance to pierce the armor, which now gives you a total of 30%. So, since this build does have 25% dodge, it is good to know that on that 25% dodge, you're capable of getting 4 in a row. And this is on a chance of 1 over 256 chance. Now, with most heists being about 10 to 15 minutes long, with this in mind, having 0.35 as your grace period, so if, inside of a 1 second time period, you're basically getting shot for 3 shots of 225. Now, if it's 60 seconds, that's possible for about 180 shots. So with knowing that, you have the chance to dodge 4 in a row, and playing around with this knowledge can come in handy only if you're capable of knowing the probabilities and the chances of the possible dodge values, and be able to identify which probability chance you're on and what you have used. This build at a high has 25% dodge, has 3 shot HP with a Joker under circumstances of getting HP regen while taking damage of 225. You also have 1 shot armor, paired with first aid kits and the Grinder's HP regen. With all of these in your arsenal, you have a bit of creativity to play around with. This build has an AR and SMG pairing together to effectively handle all ranges of damage. The primary rifle I have is the AK-5. It brings high accuracy, good stability, and pairing it with about medium damage for this style of rifle. We pair full crits inside the build to allow us to push out as much damage as possible, and at all the current ranges. We also bring body expertise while having a micro Uzi with the fast fire rate that it brings, more in the sense of just for HP regen, and for the concealment value that we needed inside the build. Now, let's get into the tips for the build here. As I'll be mentioning here in just a moment inside the tips section, we grab Combat Medic for a specific reason, while also grabbing things like Quick Fix Aced for 10% damage reduction, and we also have things like Inspire Basic inside the build. We grab Partners in Crime for an HP increase, while grabbing things like Shock and Awe Aced so that we can stagger shields, while also grabbing Shock and Awe Resilience for the armor regen bonuses. We grab Bullseye for another form of armor regen, while also grabbing things like Body Expertise Aced, Lock and Load, Surefire, and Steady Grip. Then we grab things like Sneaky Bastard, and we aren't acing it because we have enough concealment in the build. We grab things like Duck and Cover so that we have that extra dodge increase. We do grab things like Optical Illusions, Low Blow, and the Professional. Now as for your primary weapons here, you do have some options for the primary, but I went for the AK-5, dealing roughly about 70 damage. I go for the CQB barrel, which is giving me a concealment increase. I then grab the bigger the better for the accuracy stability. As for a boost, we're using a concealment. Foregrip, we use the Belgian Heat Handguard, which is giving me mostly just concealment. As for the gadget, we use the Compact Laser. Magazine, you get to choose multiple different things here, but I personally went for the Fast Mag. You can choose a secondary sight if you go ahead and get the correct modification for it, but instead I just went for no sights. But if you do go for a sight, I'd recommend the Seymour. As for the stocks, I go for the Caesar stock, which is giving me a concealment increase, allowing me to get 3 concealment inside the build. As for the custom, or the micro Uzi, we don't grab the custom barrel. We grab ourselves one of the newer suppressors. Or no, actually I lied. This is the Maquis suppressor, not the newer suppressor. The newer suppressor allows it to have slightly more accuracy while losing some stability. Here we grab a concealment increase, while grabbing a micro laser for no statistical change. And as for the stock, we actually removed the stock for the concealment increase. Now let's get into the tips for the build here. You have 3 shot HP inside this build, and here's the math behind it. You have 391 HP, which is a Joker's buff to the HP. When having 225 damage you to the 391, it looks like this. 391 minus 225 equals 166. So since the perk deck heals you for 4 HP for 4.2 seconds, now if you're taking damage constantly, you need just 15 heals under the 4 HP healing scenario. And if that's under the time frame of a 0.3 second time frame, and if you're dealing a lot of damage with a high fire rate gun, these 15 heals come quickly and it will equal that 3 shot HP. Now I want to mention that when you have 166 HP and getting the HP regen from the perk deck after the 15 heals, you'll be left with 226 HP. So if you take another shot of 225, that leaves you with exactly 1 HP left over. So with first aid kit's 10% damage reduction on the 225, it changes 225 to 202.5. And here's the math for the total cost of HP and damage. We have 391 HP minus 202.5, which leaves us with 188.5. 188.5 is a difference of about 22 HP. So if we need to now be working around the threshold of 202.5, 188.5 is actually really close to that, and you'll need much less heals to get to that portion. While it's a difference of about 5 HP regens from the perk deck healing ability if you have 166 HP versus the 188.5 HP. The 188.5 HP doesn't have to get the 5 extra HP heals from the perk deck that it would need to get if it didn't have the 10% damage reduction. So to just go over it once more, if you have a Joker and you take 225 damage, you get left with 166 HP. If you have a Joker and 10% damage reduction, you get left with 188.5 HP. In a HP-based deck, it's always best to be left with more HP left over than to have less HP left over. So in this scenario here, you can make a difference of 5 HP heals if you just have the 10% damage reduction, versus if you don't have the 10% damage reduction, you're going to have to offer yourself 5 more heals, which can result in you dying from another 225 shot. Now, since we do have first aid kits, we do have Combat Doctor, which if we get downed and healed by someone with Painkiller Inspire, it will change 225 damage to 31.5, and the math behind it is 86% from painkillers and the Combat Medic makes 225 change to 31.5. So here's some numbers for after you get downed having 222 HP. If you get healed, you have 32.2 HP. So if you take 225 damage, which with painkillers once again, it'll change that to 31.5. So if it's 31.5, that will equal 2 shots of HP, and that'll equal 1 shot of armor, assuming you have 20 armor amount. You actually get left with 0.7 HP, which inside of Payday, that is a survivable amount of HP. Now, if you have a Joker on 391 HP form, after a down, you'll get 39 HP. And it's the same with a painkiller shot. You'll get 3 shot HP and, a shot to the armor of the 225. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do sincerely appreciate it. Please leave me a like, subscribe, and hit me up with some comments because I like to answer all the comments that I get. With this build being the Grinder Dodge weekly build, I only have a singular perk deck left in the weekly build series. That doesn't mean that the weekly build series is done either. That just means that out of all the 23 perk decks in the game, I have all of the perk decks covered after next week's weekly build.
If you guys are interested inside the weekly build videos, you come over here to my YouTube, you go into the second section here. We'll have a full playlist with all the build videos for the weekly builds.